Mr. Chairman, and this just points to the need for us to be in the committee room, meeting in person. The points have been made. I'm not going to continue to berate that, but this points to that fact. Mr. Chairman, this amendment is straightforward. It expresses Congress's disapproval for the completion of Nord Stream 2 pipeline. While I commend the committee today for taking up 4 bills to enhance our energy security, we must also address the actions by the Biden administration to do the exact opposite and actually impede energy security and national security. President Biden's decision to waive sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline will effectively ensure its completion. This project was slowed during the Trump administration, but this Biden administration pass is a gift to Vladimir Putin and will aid his efforts to increase his stranglehold over Europe. We've seen it time and again. Russia turns on and off the energy spigot in order to influence policies in Europe. Under the Trump administration and through innovation in the private sector, the United States is the #1 oil and gas producer in the world. In fact, they have met or exceeded the Paris Climate Accord guidelines and mandates. So a 2018 report by the House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology determined as the threat of American energy continues to grow, so does the Kremlin's incentive to influence energy operations in Europe and the United States. Moreover, as they have demonstrated, the Kremlin will use any and all tools at their disposal to preserve Russia's dominant energy status. The Colonial Pipeline cyber attack is the most recent reminder of this longstanding effort by the Russians to undermine American production and transportation of energy. The FBI has blamed the pipeline attack on the dark side, a ransomware group based in Russia. The decision to waive sanctions will continue to play into Putin's hand while undercutting our security, jobs, competitiveness, and geopolitical influence of America. Putin would love nothing more than for America to be energy dependent, and President Biden is helping him achieve this goal. As a side note, New England imports natural gas, not from Texas, Ms. Fletcher, but from Russia. By waiving sanctions, President Biden's treating a pipeline that increases Russian influence far better than American pipelines that enhance our influence. As one of his very first acts, President Biden revoked the key permit for Keystone XL pipeline, which was critical to our energy security and top priority for our Canadian allies. Just yesterday, the Keystone XL project was officially canceled. It's truly baffling and illogical that President Biden's willing to greenlight Russian energy projects over American energy projects and jobs. Projects like the Keystone Pipeline and the Atlantic Coast Pipeline would have continued the U.S. trend in leading the world in carbon emission reductions. President Biden's own DOE secretary recently admitted pipelines are the best way to transport oil and gas. From an environmental perspective, it makes no sense to favor higher emitting Russian natural gas over more carbon-friendly American LNG to meet the rising global demand. According to DOE, Russian natural gas exported to Europe has a life cycle greenhouse gas emissions profile 41% higher than American LNG exported to Europe. If Europe were to switch from dirtier Russian natural gas to U.S. LNG, global emissions would be reduced by over 70 million tons each year. We have the ability and arguably the moral responsibility to export our clean burning natural gas to countries dependent on corrupt regimes like Russia. As Rick Perry said, when the U.S. exports energy, we are exporting freedom. Although Russian gas is cheaper, countries like Poland are willing to pay a premium to avoid Russian gas because they understand Russia influences the policies in Europe by controlling the spigot. We often talk about environmental justice in this committee, and in my opinion, waiving the Nord Stream 2 sanctions is in direct opposition to that objective. The move is essentially a reward to Vladimir Putin, who continues to crack down on dissidents, imprison Alexei Navalny, Russian opposition leader, and threaten the sovereignty of its European neighbors. For the entirety of the Trump administration, Democrats were obsessed with Russian influence over the Trump administration's policy, repeatedly calling him a Russian agent. If Trump had waived sanctions on a Russian company and a friend of Putin like the Biden administration just did, there would be an immediate call for an investigation. This amendment does not make any changes to the underlying bill. It simply adds a new clause. And I would urge my colleagues to vote in favor of my amendment and to vote to table the motion of the chair on the germaneness. I yield back.